Hello and welcome to this edition of FiTV. I'm your host, Brad Swanson. We are coming to you from the Florida Capitol at the beginning of the 2020 legislative session. We are joined today by the Florida Restaurant and Lodging's own Carol Dover, President and CEO. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad, for having me again.
All right, so we're back in session officially. It's back on 60 days of fun.
Yeah.
I know you guys work on a plethora of issues for Florida's tourism industry. What's the first thing you want to talk about?
Well, you know, for today being opening day, we actually started yesterday with our first bill up in committee. Short-term rental, that's the Airbnb platform. It's a very, very complex issue. It was in Senator Wilton Simpson's committee. It passed out.
Great.
Well, except it's not exactly the way we would want it,
Right.
but that's okay because we've got time to work on it. You know, we've got, 59 and a half more days?
Sure.
So we're going to continue to work on that issue in hopes that we can come to some level playing field with anyone who comes to Florida and wants to rent to the traveling public.
Yeah,
so,
and the codes and everything. I mean,
exactly.
It really is complex,
Yeah.
and it's a great technology that we've seen work in other venues, and it's just it's challenging for the folks that made Florida great originally, and as well the hotels and restaurants.
Yeah. So again, it's super complex, but we appreciate the legislature continuing to work with us to try to resolve it.
And I know Florida Restaurant and Lodging is part of a very important cause, and that's human trafficking. Tell us a little bit about what you and your association and your members are doing in that space.
So Brad, last session, the mandatory training passed, though it doesn't take effect until January of 21. We just last week, in preparation for the Super Bowl, we hosted human trafficking. It's called No Room for Trafficking. And what we are doing is we're starting to educate and train all of our workers. No better time to do that than right before the Super Bowl, where people think they can hide. And last year, unfortunately, there were 169 arrests at the Super Bowl for human trafficking. So we have no room for that. So we're going to continue to work hard. We have the Super Bowl twice, so next year we'll be doing this again in Tampa. Would love to have you there covering it. I know you're doing a lot for it as well.
We'll definitely be talking about the connectivity of that, but we're all part of that human trafficking fight, our association as well. So thank you. And obviously law enforcement's the first line, but you guys are the first visual line to see it happening and report. So thanks for everything you and your members do there. All right, so let's move on. There's the other biggie that affects every business in the state, and that's the minimum wage amendment.
Yeah,
give us the 411 on that.
Unfortunately, they got their signatures. So on the ballot will be Amendment 2, which will be to increase minimum wage to $15 an hour. Will be catastrophic to our industry and to many industries and businesses and to jobs. I mean, people who think that, wow, I can vote myself in a pay raise, might actually be voting themselves right out of a job, because if you haven't seen how much automation is taking place today, we're going to have to find other ways to keep our doors open, maybe cutting back on hours.
Well, we saw Seattle. We saw Seattle do it, and we've already seen a decline in those entry-level jobs, especially in the restaurant industry, for sure. So.
And people are leaving those states. I mean, what have we not learned? When we did this in 03-04, we didn't have a pattern like we have today. Today, you can see what it's doing to other areas. We don't need that in Florida. Tourism is our economic engine. I have to say this because probably another most important issue is Visit Florida.
Yes, absolutely.
Funding for Visit Florida and getting Visit Florida reenacted again is critical to our state. So for anyone listening, I hope that they will call their legislators and let them know how important role Visit Florida plays in marketing our state.
Well, Carol, thanks for everything that you do on behalf of your members in the Capitol. The brand, if you will, of the Florida Restaurant and Lodgings is both powerful, influential, but thoughtful about how you guys approach your policy. So we appreciate you joining us on
Thank you, Brad. Thank you for what you do to get our word out.
And we look forward to having you on again soon.
Thank you. I would love it.
Thank you.